And the mask just slipped. The banking lobby, they're acting like we're doing our best to negotiate to be reasonable here. We see Ripple, they already have conditional approval for their US banking charter. The crypto industry getting so close to what we need regulatory clarity long term in the United States. And the biggest banking lobby, they're taking one last swipe at this. They are pressuring regulators to slam that door shut. It's not going to work. We're going to look at the news and the developments, but the American Banker Association, nothing American about them, they are pushing regulators to put a freeze on that final approval for those banking charters, targeting Ripple, Circle, and all the heavyweights in crypto. Right as blockchain is at that threshold where they're going to really threaten the old monopoly here. At the same time, though, Washington, they're quietly negotiating this deal to a close. It's going to bring mainstream adoption to blockchain technology. It's never going to be the same again. Fear, it's gripping the broader market right now, but something unusual is happening. XRP, it's not breaking. It's not fully breaking down. ETFs keep piling up money. We got a big rumor, we'll go over it, a new entry into the XRP ETF scene that will change everything. And macro pressures is building. Crypto may be heading into its biggest regulatory and market test of this year. So the question tonight, it's simple. Are we watching crypto get shut out? Or is this the final, effort by the financial system to protect its interests, but will it ultimately fail? Let's take a look at this. We got a lot to go over here. Again, they are pushing one last time, and it's not going to work, trying to say, we had FTX, we had all of these failures within blockchain in the past. This is going to put the banking system at risk. They don't want crypto firms using bank in their name, even though they will be a bank. If they have a bank charter, they are a bank. They're trying to stall legislation. That's what this has been about. They do not want to finalize this because then these blockchain companies are going to come in and threaten everything they built. The huge monopoly they have globally, it's going to be up for grabs here, trying to protect SWIFT from blockchain settlement rails. It's all about payments and the flow of funds and who gets to provide banking services here. JP Morgan, they want to sit back and test blockchain for decades and fool around. That ain't going to hold. We see what's going on. The latest news as of now here. Progress on the Hill. Momentum is building. The Clarity Act, the White House is pushing for to fulfill that crypto promise, to make the United States the crypto capital of the world. Banking representatives, they just tabled their first written proposals here, signaling a willingness to negotiate. They're going to negotiate on that stablecoin yield exemption here. The deadline, though, has been put by the White House, March 1st. That's the cutoff. This has to get done by then if we're going to have it happen. Ripple CLO Stuart Alderati calls the talks productive with strong bipartisan backing here. Is this deadlock finally gonna break? And again, it's fair. If you're not a bank, you can't offer interest, but they can have incentives, they can have rewards, you can have something other than just deposits. Maybe you have a Coinbase One membership. There's all sorts of stuff they can do, a middle ground, and it looks like it's going to happen. And if it does, man, it's off to the races. Now we can start actually using this technology to build the future. The broader market right now, you know how it is. Extreme fear. XRP, though, the price is down. We see it, but it's holding its ground here. The ETF, it has avoided outflows for the 8th straight trading session here on February 12th. Zero net outflows here. Standing firm. And we haven't seen the same with Bitcoin. Bitcoin saw 276 million exit. Now, Bitcoin's been around longer. There's more money in there. You can make a lot of excuses. But make no mistake, XRP hit that 1 billion club in a very tough time. 1 billion assets under management were actually right around 1.23 billion. Brad Garlinghouse noted they are among the fastest ever of any ETFs to go over $1 billion, and it's during trying times. You see everything that's going on out there, the sell-offs, and the ETFs holding up strong here. All eyes are on tomorrow, though, the CPI report. How does that look? And we're in a state of extreme fear. Make no mistake, but that can change quickly. Is XRP, this sounds ridiculous, but is it becoming the safe haven for the crypto sector during this dip? It just may be. Now look at this. Now, I don't know what to think here. We see Representative Hugh Blackwell saying speculation continues. BlackRock is reportedly pressuring the SEC to approve spot XRP ETFs this Monday. I think we would see a filing. And I don't think they would have to pressure if they want an XRP ETF or pretty much anything else. If BlackRock wants something, they're going to get it. But I have been seeing this rumblings. I am kind of confused. They haven't entered yet, but they are going to enter. And when they do, it's going to be a big push for XRP. You best believe. We will see. Maybe I'm wrong here, but I don't think they're going to have to beg for it. When BlackRock's ready, they're going to get their ETF, and you'll see a filing, and it's going to be no problem. Hopefully, it's sooner than later. It's so funny. You see these haters, and you kind of see, well, why do you hate XRP? And so I put this up today, and this gentleman, he hates XRP because he was listening to Carl the Moon, who convinced him that XRP is going to zero. And his main thing is like, well, now we have stablecoins on the XRP ledger, and it was never designed to be like that. What you have to understand is it absolutely was designed from day one to be like this, to have stable coins. They didn't call them stable coins right there, but to be able to put fiat currencies into the XRP ledger and gold and all sorts of value. That was the original vision. Now, Ripple, they didn't lean into that very heavily for a long time, but the original vision for this blockchain was what you are seeing now. And I think that's why we are going to have success, because this is what this blockchain has been built for. In RWAs, that's the hot button, area where you're going to see a lot of growth in blockchain, and we are perfectly built for that with new capabilities coming quickly that should really help us dominate. So, not worried about XRP going to zero. He wants to know, well, why would they introduce a stablecoin? Well, I'll tell you this, if a stablecoin ain't bad for Solana, if it's not bad for Ethereum, if it's not bad for Avalanche, it's not bad for XRP. There's nothing special about the XRP ledger that makes a stablecoin a killer. It's actually great because it's going to be an easy pipeline of liquidity. The Zhao DAO, featured on Ripple's XRP Community Day. And we see this quote from Fabio, co-founder of the Zhao DAO here. The Zhao DAO exists to give the community a voice. He is on the foundation, and it is basically the point of having Fabio on the foundation, sitting there with Ripple, sitting there with XRPL Labs, sitting there with the XRP Ledger Foundation members here, is to give the Zhao DAO members, which is our XRP community members, a voice in that room to make sure that everyone is part of decisions that are being made for this blockchain. This is about decentralization. You're Ripple. You're the biggest player in this ecosystem, maybe in all blockchain. They're going to have a voice. You have, of course, XRPL Commons, the educators of this blockchain, XRPL Labs, the biggest third-party developers, and you and me and every other investor and user of this blockchain, the Zhao DAO. That is our pipeline to have a seat at that table, and it's important for long-term decentralization. Link down below. Use your Salmon wallet, use your Bifrost wallet, become a member. It's $10 payable in XRP for a lifetime membership. And when they're having these meetings, the XRP Ledger Foundation, sitting down there with Ripple, make sure your voice is heard and you participate. And also, as the Zhao DAO makes profits in the future, you will have rights to that as well as a member. $10 lifetime membership. Use that link, sign up. This is a big deal. We are getting closer to start getting ready to write proposals soon enough here. Great announcement here by Charles here. Charles announced a partnership, Cardano with Layer 0. Big interoperability there. Also, the launch date for USDCX with broad wallet and exchange support. That's important. If you're going to have a stable coin, this is not just a regular stable coin, right? It has privacy features, immutability, and further, it's going to have support from exchanges. It's not usable if you can't have on and off ramps. This is going to be different. Big moment for Cardano. Glad to see that. Charles was having a lot of fun. This is a really interesting interview here. We see Eric Weinstein, the physicist. He said, Elon, the way he's approaching artificial intelligence, it's different. He says Grok is built for the idea that everything is wrong, essentially challenge assumptions here. And he says when we look through things, the right answer might not be in the library. What it might be is in the trash bin. Maybe someone actually stumbled on the right answers and we just didn't accept that. Grok is built to challenge assumptions. Now, we saw Elon. He got up there and said, we are going to go to the moon. And he's going to build these mass drivers that are going to launch AI satellites into deep space. And These AI satellites will just sit out there in deep space with access to energy from the sun, and they're just going to think. And he's like, what would such an intelligence even think about? I love stuff like this. Have fun, do interesting stuff, see where it takes you. Really, really cool stuff going on right now. Big announcement for XRP, for RLUSD, for Ripple. Binance and Ripple getting it done here. Deposits, and this is the important part for RLUSD. They're going to be on Binance for the XRP ledger side of things. So not just the Ethereum variant, no, the XRP ledger. If you're going to have RLUSD be useful, you have to have on and off ramps, easy access, and that's what we're getting here. It continues to build out. This is what I said starting the year. We have to see continued listings, and we got exactly that. Ripple's flagship stablecoin continues rapid growth, over $1.5 billion market cap, direct XRP ledger integration, cross-chain on Ethereum, and I think they will expand to more blockchains as we go forward. And again, this is going to enhance cross-border utility. This is going to be XRP, make XRP more usable, more valuable, in my mind, long-term, not less so. We see David, he's calling out Bitcoin. And he says Bitcoin is largely a technological dead end. I ask you this, do you agree? Because, David knows more than I do, but I think for what David wants to do today, yeah, it doesn't have the functionality, and they're not interested in quickly building that out. I think long-term it's all software, and it can and will change. I think they're in the pole position. They can sit back a bit and let things develop. But I thought that was I like David going after people, putting his vision for the future out there. I want him to believe XRP is the greatest and the right path forward because, well, why else do it? Why else build it this way? It was cool to see him saying that. Lastly, Michael Saylorman, he looks scared. And he was asked, what's going to happen if this crashes and your debt's going to become due? He says, no problem. You simply just refi the debt. Roll it forward. It could crash to 8,000. It's not a problem. I think statements like this is going to get him in trouble someday. You can imagine, you buy a house, $1 million. It crashes in value. It's worth $300,000. You can't just go to the bank and say, hey, I need a refi. Maybe pull some cash out. Like, your assets have to have some value. Like, this is the most ridiculous answer here. He might survive this cycle, but if everyone's correct, and if this is the start of some long and prolonged bear market, you see, he's sweating, man. Look at it. He's red in the face. I don't know if he's drinking whiskey. What's going on? He don't look good here. I think the pressure's getting to him. Hopefully, for all of us, crypto comes firing out of here, and we don't have to worry about this problem today. Something we can worry about down the road. Maybe someone can come in and buy all his Bitcoin and give him an exit. I don't know. But if we are going into a long and prolonged bear market, this guy is cooked. Write it down, take note, write it in blood. He better hope that's not what's happening here because he ain't going to make it out. You will not be refining that debt if Bitcoin goes on some epic crash. That just ain't going to happen. Now, he'll say you can't seize the Bitcoin, fine, but they're going to dilute the shareholders. And to you as a shareholder of strategy stock, same difference. That's where the value is, your Bitcoin per share. It doesn't matter if MicroStrategy still has the Bitcoin. It's how much value do you have per share. That's how you lose money. Most people that are crazy about this company don't understand that. They're going to find out someday. Maybe this cycle, maybe not, but the day will come. Make sure you sign up for the Zhao DAO important, really setting the standard for decentralization in this industry. Link down below. Salmon Wallet, Bifrost Wallet, $10 lifetime membership. Look forward to seeing you joining, and let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.